In the early hours of January 8th, 2025, as flames raged across Malibu, one family's world was forever changed. A mother, desperately trying to save her son, found herself caught in a nightmare of loss and helplessness. This is the heartbreaking story of Rory Sykes, a man whose life was filled with unimaginable struggles, but also with courage, compassion, and strength. Rory Sykes was born in West Yorkshire, England, a child who faced challenges from the moment he entered the world. Born blind and later diagnosed with cerebral palsy, Rory's early years were filled with hardships that would have crushed most people. But not Rory. His mother, Shelley Sykes, often speaks of the resilience her son displayed. Despite being born into a world that had already placed heavy limitations on him, Rory refused to accept a life of confinement. Through countless surgeries and therapies, he regained his sight. He learned to walk. Every milestone that most of us take for granted, Rory celebrated with a fierce sense of victory, knowing that each step he took was a triumph. As a young boy, Rory gained some fame in Australia, where he starred on a popular children's show, Kiddie Capers. His talent was undeniable, and his infectious personality won the hearts of audiences. But beyond his early years in front of the camera, Rory's true strength lay in his ability to inspire those around him. He wasn't just a child actor. He was a symbol of defiance against the odds. In later years, Rory transitioned away from acting. He co-founded a charity with his mother, the Happy Charity, which raised funds for children in need around the world. His passion for helping others was evident. Despite his own challenges, Rory dedicated himself to giving back, making the world a better place for those who needed it most. But then, just days into 2025, disaster struck. Wildfires, already ravaging parts of Los Angeles, crept dangerously close to the Sykes family home in Malibu. Shelley had seen the smoke in the distance. The air had grown thick with the acrid scent of burning wood. Yet she never imagined that on that day, she would lose her son in a fire that was beyond anyone's control. As the fires moved closer, Shelley began to act quickly. The fire was creeping toward their 17-acre estate, and she knew she had to protect her home, her son, and the life they had built. Rory, who had lived with her on the property, was in a self-contained cottage, a small space he had made his own. It was a sanctuary for him, one that offered a sense of independence despite his condition. The flames were relentless, but Shelley was determined. She ran to the hose, trying to douse the cinders that had begun to land on the roof. Yet there was a problem. The local water supply had been turned off. The fire department was spread thin, with so many fires raging across the area, and they too found themselves without water. Shelley called 911. She dialed frantically, hoping someone would answer, but the lines were down. She made call after call, but there was no response. The fire was consuming the landscape, and her world was slipping through her fingers. Shelley's voice trembles as she recalls the moment her son said something that would forever haunt her. "Mom, leave me." It's a heartbreaking thing to hear. A son, knowing that death was closing in, telling his mother to save herself. But Shelley could never leave him. She couldn't abandon him, not after everything he had endured, not after everything they had fought through together. She knew the risks, but she made a choice. With her heart racing and fear gripping her every step, Shelley drove to the nearest fire station, hoping to get help. But when she arrived, she was told the unthinkable. There were no reserves in the fire hydrants. The resources were completely depleted. She had to go back. When the fire department finally escorted her back to their home, the unimaginable had happened. Rory's cottage was completely destroyed. The flames had taken everything. Shelley was left standing amidst the ruins, devastated. Her son, the young man who had fought so hard to overcome his disabilities, had been taken by the very force of nature that had already claimed so many lives. Rory's death was not immediately counted among the official fatalities of the fires. The fire had left only ashes, and search dogs would need to sift through the rubble to recover his remains. As the days passed, the fire claimed more lives. The official death toll was already at 11, with many others still unaccounted for. But for Shelley, the loss of Rory was personal, a deep wound that could never heal. For those who knew Rory, his death felt like a cruel irony. A man who had spent his entire life overcoming obstacles, fighting against the forces that sought to define him by his disabilities, had lost his life to something so uncontrollable. The very fires that were consuming Los Angeles would be his undoing. But Rory's story is not one of despair. It's one of defiance. It's a story about a man who never let life's challenges defeat him. It's about a mother who never gave up on her son, even in the face of the unthinkable. Rory's legacy is one of inspiration. He overcame so much, and in doing so, he showed the world that even the greatest challenges could be met with courage, strength, and love. His life, though tragically short, was filled with moments that remind us all of what it means to fight, to give, and to live with purpose. His charity, his work, his love for his family, these things live on, a testament to a life well lived despite the odds. Shelley, in the midst of her grief, continues to honor her son's legacy. She has spoken out about the need for better fire response measures, especially in areas like Malibu, where the fires have become all too common. Through her pain, she continues to advocate for change. She doesn't want Rory's death to be in vain. She wants the world to remember him, not just as the son of a mother who lost her child, but as a man who changed lives and made the world a better place. The fires may have taken his body, but they cannot take his spirit. Rory's impact on this world will never be extinguished. The light he shared with others, the kindness he gave, the love he spread, these things will continue to ripple through the lives of everyone who knew him. In the midst of tragedy, we must remember the resilience of the human spirit. Rory showed us that no matter the obstacles we face, no matter the devastation that surrounds us, we have the power to rise. We have the power to love, to fight, and to change the world. And in the end, that's all anyone can ask for. A life that was lived with purpose, with compassion, and with love. Rory Sykes may be gone, but his legacy will live on in every heart he touched, in every life he inspired. And that is something no fire can ever take away.